Hello, Chris Samartage, Brotherhood of Light Show current YouTube channel, and this week we're going to document a tour I just finished. It's December 2023, and I just finished the Allman Betts Family Revival tour. It was around 25 days on the road in the month of November and December, and we're going to go over the whole thing, so let's check it out. Allman Betts Family Revival Tour 2023. There is our logo. Our theme color is orange for the tour. And this is going to be a YouTube photo documentary of the Allman Betts Family Revival Tour 2023, narrated by myself, Chris Samartage. And we're going to go over all the artists and pretty much all the music that was performed on the tour. And we'll get to it next. So check it out. So here is the tour post, the Allman Betts Band, including all the dates here and all the guest stars, which you can read for yourself. We'll get to them as the show goes on. And so there's 20 dates in total, starting in St. Louis, ending in Austin, Texas, starting 11/25, November 25th, going to December 17th. So you can see we had 23 days, 20 shows, a couple, 3 days off in the middle there, different days. All right, so the guys on the left are Devon Allman and Duane Betts. They are responsible for putting this thing on. And Devon, the guy on the left, is the mastermind of the whole family revival. We've had him. This is our 7th year we've done it, and I've done 6 of those years, performing light shows. And Devon comes up with the ideas and the colors and the whole theme for the thing, and he gets the guests together. But without Duane, it just wouldn't be a family revival. So the two of them together create the great energy for this great event that goes on. And we did really well on this one. We sold out a lot of concerts, and it was really, really a positive situation. And Devon came up with a great idea. We did an intro, a slideshow with Dickie Betts and Gregg Allman slideshow, and an old Allman Brothers slideshow with little Martha playing to enter into the show. And it was really a great concept. So we're going to get on to the set list next. Okay, so here is the set list. The first proposed set list for the whole tour, and then the actual final set list last night in Austin, Texas. So you can see it really didn't vary that much. I'll go over that right now. But it's all Allman Brothers songs. So the concept of this tour was, it was Allman Betts, being the Allman family and the Betts family, who formed the Allman Brothers, doing all Allman Brothers music. So there's on these particular set lists, there's like one song that's the Allman Betts Band and not the Allman Brothers songs. And there's a couple Gregg Allman songs. So the intro was an intro of the slideshow I mentioned with Fear of Falling, and then we went through the whole set list, which you can read, and then at the end they would do 1 or 2 Allman Betts song, and then finish with everybody coming on the stage and doing Midnight Rider, which is a Gregg Allman song, Allman Brothers song. And we basically did Magnolia Road, which you can see on the Austin list. And so what they did was they switched it out. They put Sailin' on the Devil's Sea as the opening song, which is a little more up-tempo, kind of a better show opener. And then they took Soul Shine out of the first set and moved it into the second set. So that's basically the only changes that happened throughout now they would also did King Crawler one night. They did Shine one night. Those are all Allman Betts songs, but basically every night we did Magnolia Road as the one Allman Betts song, and then did Midnight Rider as a closer. So there's the set list. Hopefully give you guys enough time to check it out. You can see some of the artists that were involved, but we're going to get into that next. So we're going to start with the artists here. And we have the Allman Betts Band. And we've got John Ginty on keyboard. We've got Justin Corrigan on bass. John Lum on drums. And in the center, Devon Allman. And then Orby Orbison on the second drum kit. And then we have Duane Betts on the gold top, Les Paul and vocals. And then we've got Johnny Stachla on slide guitar and lead guitar. So this is the core band that I've been touring with for the past 5 years, 6 years. And all these guys were out on the tour, okay? There was an additional percussion player, saxophone player added from the Devon Allman project. And the bass player, we had another bass player come in that was a special guest that did the whole tour. And Justin would just play the encore, maybe a couple songs here and there. So he was a kind of a partial player on this tour, but he was basically there pretty much for the whole tour. So the Allman Betts Band is our core band, and they're doing, on this photo, they're doing Magnolia Road, which is, I have the leaves coming down with the beautiful sunset, an Americana look. So here we are at the Ryman Theater during rehearsals. We would do a 4 o'clock to 5:30 rehearsal every day. And we have, the guys are in street clothes, and I'm just kind of experimenting with some different video and slides I make. And you can see the 3 drummers, and they're just practicing tunes for that night, or they're actually sometimes bringing in some of the guests and going through some of the tunes with them. Anyway, I thought I'd just throw some rehearsal in there behind the scenes action. So now we're getting into some of the special guests. There's Duane and Johnny doing rehearsal. And there is our bass player who formerly played with Jeff Beck and pretty much a jazz bass player, Tala Wilkenfeld. And there she is on the bass. And then there's Osborne, who's playing the Les Paul with the Bigsby. And Ander did about 2/3 of the tour, and he was his song that he played was Ramblin' Man. He was the Ramblin' Man. Now he also sat in on some leads during Dreams, where he'd be playing a lead solo, and that's the picture on the left of him doing this really cool kind of Jerry Garcia feedback stuff during the psychedelic set ender Dreams. So we're going to get into Tala later on in the show here. Okay, so we got Allie Venable, who's from Texas, and she is a guitar player singer, and about the 3rd song in the set was I'm No Angel, and she shared vocals and played lead on I'm No Angel with Devon Allman, and that was her song. She got that song, and then she would sit in on some of the other stuff, some of the jams, some of the one way out, stuff like that. But basically every night she played and sang I'm No Angel. So next up we got Larry McCrae. There he is. And his song was Soul Shine. And in reality it's kind of a hit that was on the Allman Brothers album that Gregg Allman sang, and then Warren has covered it. But Larry McCrae was the original guy that wrote the song. He gets song credit for that. And so out of respect, we bring Larry McCrae out, and he plays his song, which is a big hit with the Allman Brothers. And I do this kind of sun motif behind him and mix video in. And he also played in jammed in Dreams and some other moments in the set. He also did Stormy Monday a couple times during the show, during the run, but mainly every night he did Soul Shine. Okay, so now we got Gallia Vault, and she's doing Pony Boy, which is a Dickie Betts song. And she starts off with a brutal kind of Johnny Winter style slide, and I use the liquids on the screen. Then she breaks into Pony Boy. We have the Pony Boy up there trotting along to the rhythm of the music, and then she does a kind of a harmonica guitar war with Jimmy Hall. And it's a pretty cool part of the set. And that's her one song that she gets featured on. Then she plays on a couple other songs also. So our next guest is Jackie Greene. Okay, Jackie Greene, about this time of the set, plays Gregg Allman's Gibson, and he plays and sings Melissa. And then there's Duane is doing the lead. He also jumps over on his SG and plays lead on Dreams a couple times, and then he's also really good at playing the Hammond B, and he comes over and plays a lot of songs on that towards the end of the show. The guy is super multi-talented. He can sing, he play rhythm guitar, lead guitar, and Hammond organ. And I have heard Gregg play it, of course, for 25, 30 years, but he was doing a really good job. I mean, I sit right by the Leslie a lot on stage, and he sounded great. So I'm really impressed with his abilities. So next up, we got Maddie Shuler, and she was in the River Kittens and now is on a solo career. She was out with us, and she sang Come and Go Blues. There she is in the center of the stage with her mandolin, and she is probably one of the most powerful female vocalists out there. She just wailed on this thing, and she did a lot of backup vocals on like No One Left to Run With and Soul Shine, and so she's an integral part of the vocal sound of the tour. Really impressed by her. Really, really a powerful singer. Okay, so we got, this is Ain't Wasting Time, and Tala sings this one. And we got Alex Orbison, or Orby Orbison, which we call him. And it's Roy Orbison's son, and he is the second drummer in the Allman Betts Band. And now that we just lost our other percussionist, unfortunately, so Alex is in, and he's a good friend, a really cool guy. Lives in Malibu, and played with bands with Duane when they were young, many years ago. So great to have him on board, and just wanted to mention him. Okay, next up we've got the Dickerson Brothers, Luther on guitar and keyboard, and Cody on drums. And there's Cody on drums on the right, and there's Luther playing guitar. Now, he played a lot of lead guitar during Dreams, and also during Whippin' Post. Also sat in on many songs, but and multiple talented guy can play keyboard. They're both in a band called Mississippi All-Stars, and they're some of the more talented guys coming out of the Southern rock scene. And it was just a pleasure to have them with us. They're fantastic, and they've always been on the tour ever since it started. Great players, both of them, really sweet guys. So once again, the tour was just great, man. The great personnel out there. And the veteran, Jimmy Hall from Wet Willie. Now, Jimmy Hall's been in the business since 1971. He's been around longer than me. I'm the other veteran out there. And I've done many a tour where he came out and did the similar thing with Gregg Allman, where he'd sing a couple songs. On a New Year's run, we would do a Christmas run. And he sang Statesboro Blues and Whippin' Post. And he just did this amazing ending at Whippin' Post where he just wailed. And then he played harmonica throughout other songs on the tour. Jimmy Hall, a true veteran, who's also been on every revival tour for the past 7 years. And now we're back to Tala, who was the permanent bass player throughout the whole show, and then Justin Corrigan would come in and do the encore. She does this pictures of her as doing this bass solo in the intro to Whip and Post. Was always a crowd favorite, and she's like a really crazy jazz bass player and not really Allman Brothers style player, but eventually as the tour went on, she got into the role of playing Allman Brothers music, and it was pretty. She's a crowd favorite. Everybody loves her. She used to play with Jeff Beck, and I've known her for like 17 years. I met her. She sat in with the Allman Brothers, did a bass solo at the Beacon in 2007, I believe, and I've known her ever since. So she's quite an interesting character. So now we had some spot tours. Guests would come in here and there, 2 or 3 shows, and Sarah Hull, who plays mandolin, considered one of the top mandolin players in the United States. She sat in a couple shows in New York and Long Island, and then the next day she went on to do Good Morning America and a Jimmy Kimmel show that night, and then she came and played in Nashville with us. And in this particular shot, she's doing Magnolia Road with Devon and Duane and the whole band, and they also did End of the Line, which was really interesting, an acoustic with her kind of doing the singing and the lead for that. So she's kind of a national star on the way up. So really another great guest. So joining the family tour. Here's other guests that was on the internet, and we've got Frank Hannon from Tesla sitting in with Larry McCrae. He played the Florida shows and the Nashville show, and he is just a shredder, an unbelievable lead guitarist from Sacramento, and then from Chicago and the South, DJ Simo, who's toured with us, and he sat in on the part of the southern leg, and he is just fantastic. He played all the guitar on the latest Elvis Presley movie. Warner Brothers did, so he's a big time musician, and we're gonna get to some other guys that are on this list, but those are the guys I got pictures in this particular page. So this is a pretty special page here. We've got Chuck Leavell originally from the Allman Brothers, Sea Level, and now he's been playing with the Rolling Stones for the past 35 years, and maybe more than that actually. And he sat in at Macon. There he is with John Ginty. He's playing piano, and Ginty's up there on the Hammond. And then I might as well mention Chris Brush, who is tour managing, who did a pretty damn good job considering he had to deal with all these people and guests and so many shows. And our normal manager wasn't there. He would have shared management with him, but he didn't. So Chris did really well. He's also the photographer. Both these pictures on this page he took. Most all the close-ups you see on this show, Chris Brush took. And then, of course, we've got Allman Betts Family Revival with Dickie Betts showed up on his 80th birthday in Sarasota on 12/12/23. And there he is with Devon and Duane on the break, hanging out with the father of us all, Dickie, and the guy who hired me initially 35 years ago to work with the Allman Brothers. I owe my career to him, and it was great to see him out there. Okay, now we got a couple guys from Devon Allman Project and the Allman Betts Band. We got Justin Corrigan, the bass player, who would sit in on the end of the shows. And then we have David Gomez. He played percussion. and saxophone. And he played saxophone on Ain't Wasting Time. And the guy just never stops smiling up there in percussion. He just loves what he's doing. And then another spot special guest at the Ryman was G Love. There he is with Devon Allman. So, okay, my good friend and buddy for 35 years, Duane Betts, and him and I are just making magic up there during Elizabeth Reed on this left-hand picture. The song in memory of Elizabeth Reed. It's just a psychedelic jam with mushrooms and liquid lights. And I've been performing that song with the Allman Brothers and Allman Betts for the past 35 years. And then here is Duane on the right here with Tala, just with some cool liquid lights. And you can see the size of my screen. And, Duane is probably, to me, one of the best guitar players up there. He's just, especially with this music, he's just fantastic. What a great lead guitar player and, good songwriter, singer also. Okay, so we got a couple more guys. We got from Allman Betts Band, Johnny Stachla on slide guitar and lead guitar. There he is jamming up in the liquids during Dreams. And then we had Jackson Stokes, or Tyler, we call him that also. He was more or less stagehand, guitar tech, handling all the guests and all the guitar switches. But every once in a while, Devon would give him a song and he'd get up there and play. He plays with the Devon Allman Project. And so he's got Dreams here, and I'm mixing a liquid light show with him. So he's really wailing that lead out. You can see him there. And there he is with Devon and the whole band. So he got his moment. He played like 4 or 5 songs during the tour, so that's pretty cool. He really wasn't on the list, but he got to perform, so it was really cool. So we got the man himself, Devon Allman. There he is. And he's doing Dreams. That was really his baby. He always sang and always played a lead in Dreams every night. And he's got vocals similar to his father, and he had a really great sound on that SG, that Robbie Krieger style SG. He got a really nice tone. He was really consistent on this tour. I was really impressed with his playing. And he sounded great every night, and he really wasn't switching guitars that much. He played this one, and he really did justice to the show. But he's the guy who holds this whole thing together, man. He is the brains behind it. So my hat's off to Devon Allman. So we're getting towards the end of the show here. We've got Duane Betts. He opens up One Way Out with a guitar solo, spotlight on him, everybody else blacked out. He does a Dickie Betts ripping lead, and then they break into everybody breaks into it. You can see Jackie Greene's up there on the Hammond. We got 5 guitar players up there trading off, and they all do solos to One Way Out, and there's I put them up on this big screen when they're doing their solo, and so Duane's doing his right there, and he's going down the One Way Out time tunnel. And of course, there's more. So we have John Lum on the drum over here on the left. We got Jackie Greene on the Hammond B, and then of course got to feature John Ginty, who plays John, the drummer, and John Ginty play every song, the whole show, including myself. I do every song. So we're the workhorses. John Ginty on keys and musical director. Now, Devon is the guy who created the tour and puts together the set lists. But Ginty kind of keeps the glue in the band and keeps everybody together and kind of signals everybody for certain breaks. And of course, after like the second or third show, we all had it down. But John was really directing the show as it went on, and really a key member in the Allman Betts Band. So my hat's off to John, a good friend, and enjoy working with him. Great guy. He also gets out there and sets up his keyboard every day. Okay, now we're going behind the scenes, and yours truly, Chris Samartage, mixing video right there on the side of the stage. You can see my rig set up, my multi-monitor setup, video director, and Brotherhood of Light show. That's my company. There's my rig on the right of me here, and that's at the that's in Nashville. And above that is my mixing rig, and you can see the stage. I'm mixing Johnny Stachla up there live on the screen with some liquid lights, and then that's my multi-monitor setup I have. And I think that I don't know if that's not at the Ryman. That's probably at Boot Barn. It looks like where I'm in front of house, but a lot of times I mix on the side of the stage or front of house, so I move around, but I kind of prefer mixing on stage, just to be closer to the action. But the front of house, you get a little better sound, and it's a little more exciting to be out there. Anyway, we're going to get on to the rest of the guys behind the scenes. So we got we're in the Beacon Theater here in these two pictures out at front of house. We got James, the LD, and he's was on the tour, the Family Revival, but he also works for Old Crow Medicine Show. He's been touring with them for 3 years. And then on the sound, we have Nate Gilbert, which I've been touring with for the past 7 years. And he's been around with the Allman Betts and Devon Allman project for that long. So me and him have a pretty good history. And James did a fantastic job, and I hope we get to work with him in the future. Great guy, great LD, and finally we have a good LD out there to work with. I've always been kind of having to use house guys, and it's really a pleasure to have him out there. So here we go. This is the Allman Betts Family Revival Stage Crew 2023. We got Tyler Jackson Stokes on the left, who plays guitar on some songs and handles a lot of the guitar switches on the stage. We also have James, the LD, and then John Ginty, the keyboard player, who sets up his gear every day. So he's part of that stage crew. And then myself in the middle there, I do all the video and sometimes work with the lighting people. And we got Brent, who's a drum tech. We got Craig, guitar tech, who tunes all the guitars. And we got Nate Gilbert on the right, who is the sound engineer and sets up all the microphones and all that stuff. So we've kind of expanded. We got a really great crew now. We were really kept it rolling, and we're really pro, and great bunch of guys to work with. It was really a lot of fun. So we got Allman Betts Family Revival, Band and Crew, 12/17/2023. This is right before we went on stage. We all gathered backstage at Austin City Limits and took a group shot, and everybody's there. And also my cameraman Nate is there kneeling down with his camera, and the merch guy's there. And that's the whole crew, man. Check it out. I've gone over everybody, and there they are. It was great, wonderful working with these people, and we just finished. We were on our 20th show in 23 days. So this is the Allman Betts Family Revival 23 in honor of brother Gregg Allman. So we're doing Midnight Rider. Everybody from the tour that plays an instrument is up there, including some of the tech guys that play. And they're all up there on stage for Midnight Rider. And so during the lead portion of the song, I always put this picture of Gregg, the pictures of Gregg up, riding his motorcycles, and usually gets a cheer from the audience. And it's really on the whole tour is really about honoring Gregg Allman. We started out in 2017 after he passed away, the original one on his birthday, December 8th. And we've been doing these things ever since. And have expanded into a tour format, so it's great. And once again, him and Dickie hired me back in 1990, and I owe my career to Gregg Allman and Dickie Betts. So this thing took a lot longer than I thought, introducing all these people. There they are. They're all on stage playing, and all his tech people are supporting them. And the Allman Betts Family Revival, the cliche, the road goes on forever, which is a lyric out of the song. When I pop that picture of that road in Nevada that seems to go on forever. And that's basically my parting shot here. What more do you need to say? And the road goes on forever, and we'll probably do another one next year. So, hey, now I'm going to leave you with the poser page, and then the final page will be the intro logo page. So I'm going to sign off. Thanks for viewing. If you want to subscribe to Brotherhood of Light Show current YouTube channel, please do. Help support my channel. I just love doing these things. I love making slideshows. I love performing with these bands on stage. So we'll see you next time.